beauty, cancer, and inspiration. Here is your co-founder and host, Kim Becker.
Hello, gorgeous, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Our guest today is Alyscia Cunningham. Alyscia is an entrepreneur, author, filmmaker, and photographer who has contributed to the Smithsonian, National Geographic, Discovery Channel, and AOL. After the success of her first book, Feminine Transitions, a photography book encompassed with portraits of raw feminine beauty, Cunningham published her second photography book and upcoming documentary film, I Am More Than My Hair. The book features 138 portraits of 46 females and their stories of their experience with hair loss, as well as females who cut their hair in solidarity of a loved one. The film includes interviews and dives into the connection of their emotions in relation to the media's portrayal of beauty standards. Alyscia creates these and future projects with the consideration of art for social change. Hi, Alyscia, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. So as I was preparing for our interview today, I was trying to remember, how did we meet? Like, I know I've known you for so long and I followed your progress on social media, but I was trying to remember who introduced us.
I believe, that's funny because I was trying to come up with that as well. I think we were connected through, a women's networking group in Maryland. What's the name of it? I can't remember the name. It's a women's networking. You're in Maryland?
No, I'm in South Bend, but we used to have an affiliate in Maryland, in Frederick, Maryland.
Yes, and she's in Frederick. She actually used to be in Frederick, but then she moved somewhere else.
I wonder if it was it Tracy?
No, not Tracy. It was Women's Empowerment Group is the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
Yeah. I can't pinpoint it, but it was so funny because, our circles travel, and I knew that it was somebody that had introduced us. And I was like, now I know that we were connected for a reason.
Right.
And, and I knew that a lot of it was this book project that you were doing. And I was trying to rack my brain. I'm like, now how did I get to meet her? So I am so excited. I'm so excited that you accepted my invitation. I love the work that you do.
Thank you.
Tell me about this. Because I know when you were doing the book, actually, you had reached out to me to see if we had any of our gorgeous women that were bald that would be interested in participating.
Yes.
So Tell me more. I want to know about the inspiration for that. You're right. Society just judges us so much on appearance, number one. But where did the inspiration come for that project?
Oh, so that's a long story, but I'll make it short. I initially, when I was working on my first book, Feminine Transitions, I met up with a woman who was I connected with from somebody else who wanted me to do a talk about my book at her event. And she owns an organization that raises funds for women of color for cancer, the medical treatment of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having a casual conversation, and she mentioned that, I would like for you to talk about your book. I'm going to have another event a month later where I'm going to be doing a big chop, and the proceeds go towards, wigs. So she said, if you know anyone, since you're going to post about it, if you don't mind just sharing that information, if anyone wants to do it. So I volunteered, on the spot. I was like, okay, that's, I've been wanting to cut my hair for a while. This is a great opportunity because it's a great cause.
Yes.
So I did that, and then as time went on, I blogged about it, and I was like, well, this is what's happening. This is the event, no pressure. But if anyone is interested, if your hair grows towards a good cause, and I was shocked at the amount of criticism that I received for volunteering to cut my hair.
Really?
Yeah, I received a lot of criticism. People were more concerned about me cutting my hair and the way I would look. I heard many Bible quotes about a woman, her hair, her beauty, and the strength in your hair. Just really ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And in response to the comments, one woman who's with her daughter that I know very well said to me, oh my gosh, a woman's hair that's her beauty. Your beauty's gone with your hair's gone. So I said to her, as her daughter was there, well, would you tell your daughter the same thing if she involuntarily lost her hair? Would you think she's no longer beautiful?
Right.
And I think it kind of struck her because, her daughter standing right there, what if? Like, I guess the thought never really occurred to her. And as she's thinking, I was thinking, I had an immediate thought in my head, like, I'm going to create a project. Like, I want to do something where people can see that women don't need hair to be beautiful. So that's how I got the inspiration. Was from my personal experience.
Wow. And that is so true, not everybody loses their hair, as part of our program, but obviously many women do. And I I don't know why, and I don't know whether I offend or not, but the first thing I do is I get my hands up and I reach for their head. Like I just want to touch their head. And maybe it's just a skin to skin thing, or maybe it's, just the heat, I don't know, and I always want to grab their head and kiss their forehead. I don't know what that is, but it's beautiful. Their head
It
is
really
beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is, right. Yes.
It's
And
beautiful.
when the hair is gone, you get to see the real beauty of it.
Yes.
There's nothing
No.
there. There's no, there's no other mask.
That's right.
So you could just see the raw beauty.
That's right. So how did you find the candidates, and how did you basically pitch this project when you were looking for women to be a part of this book project that you were working on?
So initially, what I was doing, I was also ignorant in knowing what hair loss is. I assumed initially that hair loss, when a woman loses her hair, that it was related to cancer. And through this journey, I learned that alopecia just means hair loss. So it could be due to radiation, it could be due to stress, or
that's right.
Anything.
That's right.
So initially, I started reaching out to cancer-based organizations and bumped into a road block because of the privacy practices. So a friend of mine was like, well, alopecia just means hair loss, so you can just reach out to any alopecia-based organization. So I started doing that, reaching out to alopecia, or like shaved heads is another one, or Bald and Beautiful groups on Facebook, groups on, support groups and things like that, saying, hey, I'm working on this project. If you know anyone in your group that would be willing to participate, this is what it is, you can share this. And so everyone came to me from an organization or a group. Whether it's, like in-personal group or social media or otherwise. Yeah.
And so is the book complete now?
Yes, I published it last year, July.
Wow.
I'm working on I had my first public work in progress screening for my film just a few days ago, and I'm working on my finals to have my screening on October 20th at AFI Theater in downtown Portland.
So tell me this then, what inspired you when you saw these women? What was it that moved you to say, telling their stories in a book isn't enough, we need to make a documentary? Tell me what inspired you.
Well, that actually was something that I went to a work in progress screening at Docs in Progress, which is a local nonprofit organization to help filmmakers produce their films. And I was doing, at that time initially, my focus was just a book. I was taking footage of the women and just like little snippets of their stories so I can use it as marketing material. And the whole, the biggest statement I had everyone say is, I'm more than my hair because, and I was using that to say, okay, this is what the book is about. This is alopecia, this is how beautiful these women are. And when I did the roundtable, just as an author, the viewers, the room was packed, and I was shocked at that. I was like, wow, a lot of people are interested in this, in the subject. And everyone in the audience was like, why is this not a film? Like, this is, you have the book, you have the words, but the film would say so much more, and your footage is beautiful. You need to make this a film. So that's how it ended up expanding into a film. And I feel like with the film, you have so much more of the story. There's so much more words and the story behind the story and the emotion and the connection that I really want the audience to be, because it's an emotion, it's educational. So I wanted people to understand not only the medical term alopecia, but also when you see women who are bald, there's certain things certain comments that you shouldn't make, certain ways that you should treat people, not based off what you think, when you think because they're different or not, so that's how it ended up expanding into that.
That's beautiful. Well, and I know too, and I make that, I guess, just because of the line of work that I'm in too. If I see somebody with a bald, I automatically assume that they have cancer. And it was interesting. I remember, it's been several years ago now. We were at a restaurant, and there was a woman that was there, and she looked very familiar to me. Well, it ended up that I'd never met her, but I had met her daughter-in-law, and she was bald. And I said to her, made the mistake of saying to her, so I assume you're actively going through treatment. What type of cancer do you have? And she said, nope. She said, I went through treatment 9 years ago. And there's a small percentage, it's not large, it's maybe 3 to 5% of women that lose their hair during chemotherapy that it never comes back. So because of her chemotherapy, she actually then had alopecia, which, can due to the stress of the treatment or whatever. But, I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of seeing a woman and just assuming that because she doesn't have hair, she has cancer. And that's not always true. So the fact that you're bringing this to awareness, and like you said, some women shave their head just in solidarity of a friend. It's not even that they're actively going through treatment, but they're there to support a loved one who is going through treatment.
Yes, exactly. Right.
And so the film is complete, yes?
It is complete. It's just in the post-production phase, which is the editing. So I have my rough cut, and I'm just working on fine-tuning it for the fine cut, the final version.
And so tell me again, when do you hope to premiere it?
October 20th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at AFI Theater in downtown Silver Spring, Maryland.
I hope it goes bigger than just Maryland, because I hope that we get the opportunity to be able to see that. That is, that's what I've always said too. And I'm going to assume that, once you get to know these women and you hear their stories, you're inspired, right? You just don't. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but you can't tell the entire story with a picture.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
So share with me a couple of the women that truly inspired you through writing the book and making the movie. Share with me a couple of those stories.
There's so many of them, but so there is one. Everyone has turned into. I've become really close with everyone that I've interviewed, almost like family.
Yes.
And they have. So I would say one story is of a mom who she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. She is in Pennsylvania actually, but she moved to Florida recently, and she said she was prepared. She did all her research, did all the reading, and was prepared for the hair loss, and was prepared for the friends kind of falling off the face of the earth. I kept on hearing that women who in cancer treatment. And when she was in the shower, she said that she didn't expect it, although she was prepared for it. Once her hair actually started falling, like coming out as she was, washing her hair, she went into complete panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And her son had embraced her. She came out, she was screaming, and her towel on and everything. And her son, held her and told her, "Mom, you're still beautiful. Don't worry about your hair." And I was just so touched that actually, she and I were sobbing in that moment when she was telling the story.
Absolutely.
And it was like she was like, she felt this guilt because she felt like this is my baby, and I felt like I should be protecting him, but in that moment he was protecting me. So that's one story. And there's another woman who actually lost her hair. This is Jamila. She's in Maryland, and from stress-induced alopecia. And she had, for many years, hid behind what she just, in her words, hid behind a wig, under a wig. And she felt like she felt like a prisoner because her husband, and her kids, and her parents, and her friends knew that she was coping with alopecia.
Wow.
And it became liberating at the point when she was like, "I'm tired, and wigs are itchy. I just want to take it off, and I want to be free." So those words stuck in my head, like, "Oh my God, like it's really freedom, to be able to just be completely yourself and to tell people to either you accept me as I am, or you can go about your business, and that's fine." And then in the process afterwards of finally feeling the freedom to be herself, she was diagnosed with leukemia. And she said, although it was difficult, the one thing that she felt like she wasn't worried about that most women are worried about when it comes to having, radiation, well, she wasn't worried about losing her hair because she was already bald. So she made a joke of it, but she was like, it's still, it's something that, people ask her about and they figure that she's bald. I'm like, oh, okay, don't worry. But she said she was shocked at the fact that people were so concerned about maybe her hair would grow back, rather than asking her if she was, knowing if she was going to live or die, So
right.
It was like, wow, But that's just two of the many stories that kind of stick out right now. Yeah.
Well, and